但係你都係我點解我哋揾多部機去做咧？望喺出邊，佢睇晒你所有樣嘢。你問你係咪想去睇呢件事先？
都冇所謂。
用手機做緊，你加你部手機做個
本地人。
係啊。即係
加我呢手機做主持人。
係冇錯。喺嗰度加揾翻嚟揾翻。
但係佢冇得付喎，佢一嚟就主持人嘅喎。即係我約咗主持人份俾佢咁啊，咁嘅意思咯，係咪咁嘅意思？即係佢冇付嘅，佢得一係咧就即係我將主持人份俾咗佢咯，係咪先？即係咁嘅意思啊，設為主持人咯。咁樣設係啊，
有喎，孫有喎，不嬲都。
孫冇付主持人。
梗係有啦。
嚇？但係點樣用？佢一嚟就主持人。不過主持人都唔怕啦。總之我用電話 shift 就好啲，係咪？
電話試下得唔得？試啦。
但電話仲能 control 喎。
你哋有冇多部電話？
多部電話冇。
電腦
冇啊，但唔緊要咯，我直接喺呢度問咗問咯，即係好少 shift 啊，佢淨係問問題先 shift。
你試下啦。
咁我但係我
呢度都平啲。
冇啊，讓咗就冇㗎啦，得一個啫嘛，啲主持人。因為我。
主持就
係啦。
你嗰係邊個？邊個？
頭先嗰個係 HAG， 應該係呢個。
你
哦係呢個呢個。哦，設位主持人。係。主持人。不過唔緊要，我呢個舒服就得最。算啦，就咁啦。
15蚊嘅。
唔緊要，我哋就咁樣。
好耐冇見你，加油！好忙啊！而家咪幫我做 video， 我請大家。
我識做 video。
OK， 拜拜。
識咗聲，識咗。
sorry， 有啲秘密講緊電話咁。大概10分鐘。開始嘅時候拜拜。咁我就有冇Gary 聽應該開會多先。
有咩叫做開翻？
你一講佢開俾我上翻先。等佢上。 將個 focus。
咁你仲會唔會問頭先第一條？
我會問下得，因為大家應該可能未必咁即刻。我 bachelor 冇難場嘅，
咁我 process 嚟嘅，唔嚟嘅，但係佢知唔知？
打飛
我打飛，你打飛，叫佢睇下啲 question 啊嘛。
跟住後就算冇人問嘅話，就即刻上嚟講。
焦點嗰時
係啊，你焦點咗。
咁我
你撳翻你焦點翻。
撳取消。取消。
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello，大家好，我哋活動將會喺1分鐘後開始。Our event will start after 1 minute, Nathan.
OK。
佢睇到我哋個
睇到晒。
Testing. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rudy, Vice Chairman at Hong Kong General Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs. It is my honor to represent the association today to give a few words and to begin the exciting workshops that we have prepared for you all today. As an entrepreneur myself, I constantly have to communicate with various parties, such as investors, customers, as well as judges in competitions. So hence, giving effective communication is very key to business owner success. We are here that, we are very glad to have invited Nathan Gold today, who is not just a reputable coach for high-stakes presentation, but also the creator of the course, How to Captivate Any Audience and Connect Emotionally with Your Audience. The online course is produced by Mr. Nathan Gold for the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area Youth Startup Program, organized by Hong Kong General Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, funded by the Home Affairs Bureau and the Youth Development Commission of the Government of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, and lastly, sponsored by East Union Foundation. Special thanks for Hong Kong Baptist University, our training partner of the program, by referring Nathan Gold to us today. The target audience of this course is Hong Kong young entrepreneurs aged between 18 and 40. I believe that most of the audience today have already gone through the courses prepared by Nathan, and if you have not had the chance to visit the website and go over the course, I would urge you to do that, because that will increase the success rate of your interview upcoming forward. So the agenda today will be Q&A sessions with Nathan, followed by a panel discussion from representative from Baptist University. Then we will have a session which we report the startup research, which we did for our participants on GBA. So lastly, we will also open the floors for media questions. So without delay, let me pass to my colleague Vincent Ha to introduce Nathan and kick off the Q&A session for today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Woody.
I want to double check if all audience flew online.
Can you see our face? Okay, that would be great. Okay, good morning, everyone. Today, thank you for coming. I am Vincent, the Vice Chairman of the Chamber. And today we have Nathan here to have our Q&A session with us. Let me briefly introduce Nathan a bit. Nathan is from US, he's from the San Francisco Bay Area. And the Wall Street Journal called him the elevator pitch expert. So he is very experienced in providing coaching on high-stake presentation, and more importantly, to help people to harness the speaking anxiety. As you know, as an entrepreneur, we have to meet many investors. We have to speak confidently in a comfortable way and in a convincing way without anxiety in front of the public as well as the investors. So today, you will have a chance to communicate with this elevator speech expert to know how to harness your speaking anxiety, as well as how to improve and enhance your communication skills. So let's welcome Nathan. Okay, just a moment.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe the screen have to.
Hi,
Hello, Nathan. Hello, Nathan.
Hi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to speak a few words to our audience today?
Sure, here's a few words. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you over the electrons here from San Francisco.
Okay, welcome, Nathan. So you're in the evening time now. What time is it in San Francisco?
It is 7 o'clock, 7:10 here in
Ah,
California.
okay. So I think our audience have gone through your online courses, and they have many questions that they would like to ask you and also learn from you. So maybe for the Q&A session, people in Hong Kong usually need some time to warm up, and they may be a bit shy. So maybe I just, as a moderator, I take the privilege to ask you the first question. Yes. Okay. Okay. So. My first question to Nathan is that I know Nathan has taught us that in his course about the 6 signal that we have to better to know about who we will talk to and who the audience or maybe who the investor, and to have their background check so that we can have our speech or our presentation tailored to that target audience. But sometimes, as we maybe in the competition, we actually don't know who will be the judges. So is there any advice from you, Nathan, how we can tackle to some investor or judges that we don't know them before? So will you advise us to have some or pay safe strategies or any strategy that you would like to advise to us in facing those judges that we are not familiar with?
Absolutely, sure. It happens all the time. You meet people anywhere you happen to go that may or may not even have an idea of what you do or why you're doing it. So if you don't know much about your audience, then generally my recommendation is to up-level your conversation, make it simpler, easier to understand, and use things like good similes, analogies, and metaphors so that they appreciate it from a different angle, because not everybody's really going to understand your AI, ML, and all of those things that you do on a daily basis when you're with your development team. So when you're presenting to investors or judges and you don't know who they are, the best you can do is just try to make it real. And of course, stories are the most effective way to make anything real, no matter who it is you're speaking to.
Great. So also to have up our energy level so that we can cheer up the motivation as well as the conversation with our investors.
Sorry, say again?
Yeah. So I got some question from the Zoom, and one of the audience asked the below question. In certain circumstances, we might have the chance to meet with someone who is not familiarized with the products, services we are introducing. Maybe the person or judges is not from that industry or related field, and I found him really not interested in my presentation. What can I do to draw his attention to arouse his interest in my products or services?
I don't think you're going to like my answer. There is no magic here. If you get the feeling that they're not interested in your presentation, it's not their fault. It's your fault. It's your responsibility as a presenter to engage your audience. Even if they don't like you, you can still engage your audience. But if you are going into these presentations expecting people to get interested in what you're doing, if you're not bringing them in with your stories, with your anecdotes, with your proof, and with your enthusiasm, there's nothing you can do to make somebody like what you're doing or like you. It's your responsibility as the presenter to make sure that you do the best job you can in transferring, well, some people call it passion. I like to call it enthusiasm, love, care, belief, You need to transfer what's in your heart to the other people. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And the how you say it is what draws people in. I mean, just take any story and read it. Two or three people reading that story, one person's going to add enthusiasm and passion and emotion to the words, and that's the story that's going to stick versus a blah, 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 blah. And many presenters, when they're presenting in the startup world, they get freaked out and all they do is blah, blah, blah without adding any emotion to the words that they're saying. And then, of course, nobody's going to be interested in a flat, monotonous delivery, right?
So is it good to have body language to make to emphasize our the presentation or anything that how we could better engage the audience?
Yeah. Yeah, body language is one of those things that can potentially be overrated. In other words, be natural. If you use your hands and your arms when you're speaking to illustrate big things, small things, little things, then use your hands. Don't go by these rules that you see in some of these presentation skills that say, plant your feet, put your arms at your side unless you need to use them. All of those rules to me are just sort of guidelines. Just be natural. You want to avoid things like pacing in front of your audience, which we used to do when we were in the rooms. In the virtual world, the most important thing you can do beyond all gestures is to be making eye contact with your audience. The number one thing that I find people are not doing in the virtual world, they're not looking at their audience. They're looking at a screen of their audience. And that's no way to connect with an audience. Like right now, we have 30 people online. Well, that's including me, 29 people online. I'm making eye contact with all 29 people because I'm looking into the lens of my camera. I'm not looking over here at Vincent or James or Rex or Kylie or anybody else. I'm looking into my camera because that's what you need to do in the virtual world to make eye contact with your audience. And that's not something you can do in the live world. You cannot make eye contact with everybody in the room at the same time, but you can make eye contact with 1 million people at the same time looking into your camera. So I hope I've answered that question. What can you do to draw the attention and arouse interest? Share your enthusiasm. Share your love and your belief for what you're doing. And then if they get attracted to it, great. If not, great. You will not attract everybody. Life is not like that.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. And just Nathan also mentioned that today we also have online Zoom Q&A session. So just to remind all the participants online on our Zoom chat room, please feel free to ask any question, and I can see your question here, so that I can help you to ask your question to Nathan. And also, we welcome to all the four to ask the question in this real time as well. So is there? I got another question right now. So the question is that in an investor meeting, if a potential investor is setting a benchmark or goal that is not likely to be achieved in the near future, how could we respond to the investor? And the goal is we could still have the chance to get the funding. So how can we tackle this problem?
You're not going to like my answer again. I believe what you're being told in a way when somebody sets a goal that is so far out that it's like, yeah, right, I'll be able to get 1,000 customers in 6 months or whatever that is. In a way, they're telling you no. They're telling you you're too early for them. So basically, that's what they're telling you. And the best I can suggest to you and to everyone who gets that excuse or that objection, because that's all it is an objection. Everyone who's trying to get investor money needs to realize they are not there to just give information. They are there to persuade the investor, right? And if you're not thinking persuasion, how can I persuade them to give me their money? It's never going to happen. So I'm telling you that because if they told me, let's say I'm go in, I give the pitch and they say, God, Nathan, that's really cool. you know what, come back when you have 1,000 customers. And I have 2 today, right? Let's say. That's like an impossible goal for most of us. So I would ask, and I would coach you to ask more questions. Don't just take that objection and live with it, because the mistake you can make is you go out and you get 998 more customers, and you call back up and you say, hey, I got my 1,000 customers. And they say, oh, sorry, our fund is empty. Too late. So you never know what's happening in the mind of an investor. So what I always recommend you do is ask more questions. Gentle, humble, soft questions. For example, Nathan, come back when you have 1,000 customers. Okay, that's a lofty goal, sir. I have 2 right now. I'm just curious. When I have 1,000 customers, what would be the next steps with you? And then put them in the future. Imagine I have those 1,000 customers now. What next? What would you do next? What would we do next? How would we engage further? What would be the next step? Try to get an understanding of who you're trying to do business with before you go do whatever they say they want you to do. And maybe you'll find that some of these people, you don't want to do what they want you to do because it's really just an objection. They're trying to say no in a very friendly way, and that's no fun. Maybes are not fun in the investor world. No or more time is all you want. And this is worldwide. I'm talking worldwide, not just California and Silicon Valley. Now, in certain cultures, like in Scandinavia and the Nordics, you have to go more gently when it comes to objections. Like you need to pause perhaps a little bit longer before you were to say, okay, if I did come back with 1,000 customers tomorrow, what would be different? So you just need to realize we're trying to find out more information. That's all. We're not trying to scam them. We're just trying to find out more information.
So tips is to ask the question humbly and let the investor or audience to get into what you would like to bring them to. So we also like to invite the floor to ask a question, right?
Yes. Do we have anyone with a question here?
Oh, come on, feel free.
Yeah. That's a great chance for all of us here to learn from Laven. So is there any question that you would like to ask Laven?
Can I just invite someone to help?
Do you have any questions
an
here?
example of a very compelling opening.
By the way, we can also look to the Zoom.
Yeah, so for the question on the Zoom, there is another question.
Why just we let them speak out?
Oh. Yeah, I see a question here that says, can you share an example of a very compelling opening of a pitch? Would you like me to answer that?
Is there any people on the Zoom would like to directly communicate with Laven? So it's welcome for you to just say hello to us and to ask questions.
James? Can we invite James? I just got the question from James. Yeah. Matthew, please help to let James speak out. Thank you.
Okay. James, the floor is yours.
No?
Go ahead.
Can you listen to my voice?
It's ready?
Hello, James.
Can you listen to my voice?
Yes.
James?
Yep.
So my question is how to deal with a judge that may have prejudice towards certain industries or services. So I have faced these situations in one of the competitions that I have encountered, and the judges have subjective thoughts toward my products. But then, as the Q&A session is limited in time, I don't want to spend too much time rebutting his or her subjective thoughts. So how can I deal with this situation? Because he or she may also influence other judges' decisions. But I don't want to waste too much time to rebutting her thoughts.
Yes. generally when it comes to someone pushing back against someone's product, service, or cause, they may or may not be giving you the real reason why they're pushing back on you, okay? And to try to rebut everything somebody is saying in a competition situation could get very ugly very quickly. And it could make you start going into a very defensive mode. And that's not the point. That's not what you're there to do. So what I generally recommend is when you meet somebody like that, who has a prejudice, maybe they don't believe in what you're doing. We see this all the time. Again, you can't expect everybody to believe in what you're doing. I recommend the following. In the startup world, we don't build products and services anymore without first talking to customers, right? So if you've done your homework and you've talked to 20, 30, 40, or 100 potential customers for your product or your service, go to those stories. Pull out the stories from those interviews that would potentially rebut what that person has just said. Don't try to rebut it yourself. Rebut it with a reference to your potential customers. Now, if you have real customers, alpha testers, beta testers, paying customers, go there. Let somebody say to you, you know what, your product will never be successful, ever. Okay, great, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion, but we have 27 customers that have already paid us, blah, 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 blah. They love us. So when you have customers, go to your customers. That's how you prove to somebody who doesn't believe in what you're doing that it works, that other people care. It's not about what you believe. Remember, nobody cares what you believe. I mean, in a way we do, but what investors really care about is your customers. Do your customers believe in you? Do your end users believe in you? Will they pay you?
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay, I think I get it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, James, and thank you, Laven. And so I know you have many questions to ask Laven, but today we have very fruitful program. So we also provide a channel for all of us to ask Laven question later on. So maybe we move to the next part, Rudy.
Okay, so while we are waiting for other questions, let's move on to the next part, right? Would I also invite Becky, Senior Knowledge Transfer Officer from Hong Kong Baptist University, to join the stage. So can we give a round of applause to Becky? Oh, you can sit there. Okay, so, thank you again, Nathan, for, the inspiring sharing just now. To be honest, myself is a beneficial owner, of this course because, for the past few nights I've been, reading the courses and I have been digesting out of it. And I believe that, these skill sets are universal,
Yes.
when it comes to business owners. So no matter, which location we are at, no matter, entrepreneurs from the States or business owners in Asia, we are all applying to the same skills, right? I guess for the panel discussion today, we'll be focusing more on the GBA area, the Greater Bay Area, recent initiatives that as announced in 2019. And, because most of the participants, I would say, will be focusing working in GBA, right? So, maybe I'll pass on the question to Becky and Nathan, what is your perspective on GBA? When was the first time you first heard of it? I'll pass on to Becky first.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for inviting me. So before I answer your question, I would like to introduce myself first. I'm Becky from Hong Kong Baptist University, and actually I am leading a team in university for supporting a campus-wide entrepreneurship program in Baptist U. So that's why we are very happy to be involved in this GBA Young Entrepreneurship Program. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you, Vincent, for inviting us to be the training partner. And we are happy to also refer Nathan to come here to share a training, a very practical training to all the young people here. So when asking Rudy's question, about GBA. So, well, I worked in a sector that across many entrepreneurship education during my tenure in the past 10 years. Before working at Baptist U, I also worked in an NGO to support entrepreneurship program. So actually, I see the changes in Hong Kong, especially for the young people in Hong Kong. When 10 years ago, I started to work in a youth work organization in Hong Kong, when supporting the young people to start up their business, they actually think local. They will think they would like to grow a small business and would like to try and see if anything they can earn a bit money, or they just earn a living, or the business is very small. And what they are thinking is very in a small scale, like they would like to do some snack shops or the online shops. While when time's going and the opportunities are coming from all around the world, especially from China. When I start working in the Baptist U, especially you can see the government is actually having a strong support to giving funding to the young people to start their business, to actually go into the China market or even go global. Actually, the young people are very encouraged to do so, and they are actually very talented in having a lot of great idea and business mind, even in a technological setting. So they are having something like business with a big scale, and even they are thinking big. And most of the business field are actually talking about innovation and technology. So I would see for the young people, they are seeking for opportunities to grow higher and to go faster. And also they are seeking partnerships from the mainland China or even global. So for the Hong Kong young people, they are actually very ambitious and passionate about their business idea. While I think they start in Hong Kong is actually a very good place, because Hong Kong is a place where East meets West, and they have the China near to Hong Kong, and also Hong Kong is actually having a Western culture, and we bringing a lot of Western culture for the mindset and for the people coming around from global. Actually, the Hong Kong young people can make a very good super connector to get inside into the China market. So I think there should be a very good competitiveness for Hong Kong young people to start business in Hong Kong and then go into China.
So thank you for your sharing, Becky. So Nathan,
Sure.
what do you think?
Well, my overall impression of the Greater Bay Area comes from Becky and Dr. Tan at the KTO office there at HKBU, because what you may not realize is that about, I don't know why Becky didn't mention this, but about 36, maybe 28 months ago, my bags were packed. They had spent 6 or 8 months putting together a program to collaborate between the Greater Bay Area and Hong Kong and UC Berkeley and Oxford in the UK. We were on our way, and then the pandemic came. I mean, we were all thrilled and excited. We couldn't wait, but the pandemic came. So my overall impression is it's an exciting opportunity. The infrastructure, the talent, money, and market opportunities are beyond measure. I don't think we even have a concept of what the Greater Bay Area can do for us, whether it's the US, the Nordic countries, or Scandinavian countries, or any other countries. You know, in all of my travels, I can honestly say that people are very interested in China and looking for better ways to make those connections. And then the pandemic happened, so we're all stuck. But aside from that, I honestly don't believe many people in the US really understand the potential of the Greater Bay Area. I certainly didn't until Dr. Tan brought it to my attention.
Yes, hope that after the pandemic moment, we may have a chance to go through different part of the Greater Bay Area. For me, I have traveled a lot in different city in the Greater Bay Area. Actually, I do think that from our inspection, it is very good that actually the living style, the living standard is really very similar to Hong Kong. And the most important reason is about the language. Actually, more of them, they are speaking Cantonese, and then they are willing to support people from Hong Kong. And like our partners, Accelerator, they are running by Hong Kong people in Guangzhou. So it is a nice opportunity that we are running this program by government support. So hope that we can enjoy some travel time maybe next year with Nathan too. By the way, I want to ask a question for Nathan and Becky. As both of you two is from the education coaching background, how often do you see any student or company or startup are interested to involve the business from Hong Kong, Greater Bay Area, or different park? How do you feel that if they are interested to develop more things in Greater Bay Area already?
I can share with you a bit more on this because I'm actually in the education sector in Hong Kong. Recently in our university, we see a lot of student forming teams. I can share the phenomenon with you at our university. We see the teams combination are actually very interesting to know that is they are not only Hong Kong student to Hong Kong student, they are actually having a mix from Hong Kong, mainland, or even global. What I mean is that we also have international students at the Baptist U. So they are having such kind of combination is that because they are going to think global or even go into the China market. So that's why they have a team combination of getting a Hong Kong student and the mainland student together because they would like to leverage each other's strength and their connection together. So this is quite a fact at the university. I think for those other universities in Hong Kong, I think they also have such kind of teams combination. So I would say why they have such a planning or have such team combination, it can tell you that actually the young people are making their business not even in a global sector. They are actually thinking going to the China market or even global. I would say actually some are actually attracted by the international student because I can share with you a case is that we organized some kind of entrepreneurship bootcamp before. It's an international wise. And somehow the students from outside from Hong Kong, they got a very good idea. They want to join our Hong Kong bootcamp is because they would like to get the connection to from Hong Kong student and then go into the China because they want the industries, because they have they know that the cost in having industry or getting other costs are very low in China, relatively low. So that's why actually the students from international, they are very looking for the China market because they can find opportunities there. That's why they would like to find partners in Hong Kong. Needless to say, because why they want to step into Hong Kong first and then go into China, because Hong Kong may have the privilege for language or the cultural mix or different diversity. So that's why somehow, actually you can see the team combination are very worldwide. Yeah, this is the phenomenon that I can share.
Okay, so
can I just add one quick thing to that, please?
Sure, Nathan,
Sure.
your turn.
Let's not wait. I heard next year when the pandemic's, let's not wait. If we wait, we're going to miss out on too many opportunities. Virtual is here to stay. And even when the pandemic is over, we will still be using a hybrid model. And real-time language interpretation services are ready to go right now. Software as a service, so language is no longer an issue. We can listen in Cantonese, speak in German, and everybody understands everybody because you're listening in your own native language. So please, I implore all of you, let's not wait. Let's get this going.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, how about we want to know more about the questions. Woody would like to ask more about how about the collaboration.
Yeah, I think there are a few Bay Areas that we're talking about, right? Before GBA, there's San Francisco, there's one in New York, and there's one in Tokyo. Maybe since Nathan, you are from San Francisco, how do you see whether there will be any collaborations between the two Bay Areas, one from the east, one from the west?
I think that the possibilities are endless. I just need to connect up with the right people to get the programs and the awareness. I don't think the awareness is there at the moment, but certainly the opportunity is absolutely there. Our location is easy to get to, so is yours. And we're kind of sister cities in many ways. I mean, Bay Area, Greater Bay Area, we get confused just saying Bay Area. So if we can't make something happen between these two great areas, then I don't think there's a possibility of it happening anywhere. So I'm ready to engage. I'm ready to help evangelize the whole, build the bridge between the two areas, and let's make some things happen. We can't hope for this to happen, but we certainly can make it happen. We need something like this. We need something new and exciting and forward-thinking without waiting until the pandemic's over.
Great.
Sure
so
that's exactly what you wanted me to say.
Becky, do you have anything to share on this?
Well, I can share about GBA and Bay Area in San Francisco because I'm lucky to have been to there for twice time. So actually both Bay Areas are innovation and technology based. And of course, for Bay Area, you will see a lot of big corps, especially in ICT or innovation and technology are growing bigger there. But don't forget, actually in China, in the Greater Bay Area, there are lots of tech talents there. And I believe their capability or even their corporations are very growing faster and faster. So both of the Bay Area are actually having advantages. So I think both of them can leverage the strength. Actually, both areas can connect together or even seek more opportunities when they are getting closer together. And of course, again, I would say Hong Kong here will be a very good point to connect the West and East. Somehow, the Hong Kong young people can find a lot of opportunities in connecting the people from around the world or getting them into the China for making a big business.
Yeah, thank you, Becky. Actually, we can round up some point. There are mixed portfolio in different team now from Becky's experience. And then Nathan say, don't wait, just try now with different angle. And then I would like to recap in Chinese because we have so many media here today. 因為今日我哋呢個 discussion 咧，喺呢一個論壇度咧，其實我哋歸納咗3個重點啦。首先其實大家都見到喺San Francisco 同埋我哋大灣區咧，呢幾個概念上咧有好多相似嘅地方，但係重點咧係見到好多可以合作嘅空間嘅。第二咧就係Becky 都有講到，其實喺佢之前已經見到有好多學生咧去 team up 去創業嘅時候咧，其實係唔止淨係香港人嘅，有香港人啦，有內地人走埋一齊，都有香港加內地同外國嘅學生咧走埋一齊咧去創業嘅。咁呢件事咧，係見到咧，其實我哋未來咧喺灣區或者係講緊香港加埋唔同地方嘅創業嘅話咧，係會做到一個好大嘅流動之餘咧，係可以變成一個好大嘅 mix， 同埋會令到個發展咧係多元化嘅。咁以下落嚟，我哋會去到 next section. We are going to the next round. Before that, we would like to take a group photo first. We'd like to invite our chairman, Calvin, and our guest from our sponsor organization, Mr. William, and And also our next presenter from our board, yeah, let's come. Yeah.有請 Kelvin 同 Sam 留台，係啊。Thank you, Nathan. We are going to report our research. Maybe you have to get some message from our chat box. Yeah, I will translate to you. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
好，大家好啊！聽咗成朝英文啦，俾你哋聽下廣東話，轉下 channel 醒下神先好嘛？早晨，早晨，係。咁啊，今日咧其實就前一 part 啦，感謝阿 Nathan 啦，感謝浸大啦，感謝我哋商會嘅成員咧，就同大家分享咗好多喺呢個演講啊、吸引投資者眼球啊等等嘅嘢咧。咁就到呢 part 咧，其實就係我哋嘅重頭戲咧，亦都係就係呢個粵港澳大灣區一個調研嘅發布。咁點解我哋會做呢個調研呢？就係其實大家都知道啦，我哋都超過年半啦，疫情啦。咁但係呢年半呢，有一個信息咧不斷喺我哋腦海中咧係不斷串擾嘅，就係大灣區、大灣區、大灣區。你見到咧特區政府同埋內地唔同嘅政府咧都推出咗好多大灣區嘅政策嘅。咁我成日同啲會友啊、同啲董事都傾，喂，政府做咗好多嘢咯，但係政府做好多嘢，究竟係咪我哋好多青年人、好多市民期望要嘅嘢呢？咁倒不如我哋做個問卷啦，睇下大家個心聲係咪一致？大家個需求同佢提供嘅嘢係咪一致呢？即係我哋嘅供應同埋呢個demand supply 係咪一致呢？咁啊，以下落嚟嘅時間呢，我就唔講咁多先，交俾我哋阿 Sam 哥呢去負責講一講呢個問卷個報告嘅內容，好嘛？唔該晒。
OK， 好，唔該晒主席。咁啊，正如主席所講啦，即係都年半啦。咁我哋之前年半呢，前都有做過一啲關於大灣區嘅一啲調查啦。咁啊，即管睇下今次呢一個呢，有冇啲分別啊咁樣。咁我哋呢，香港青年創業家總商會呢，就喺今年嘅8月10號同埋15號呢，就發出咗呢個問卷調查。咁我哋呢，就以呢個網上面嘅形式啦，就去做一個調查嘅。咁其實問嘅問題呢，都唔係話太多嘅啫。咁但係我哋都比較精準嘅。咁啊，總共163份問卷呢，就收翻嚟咁啦。咁以下呢，就係嗰啲調查結果啦。咁首先第一個問題咧就係話究竟你想喺邊一個城市創業咧？大灣區咁樣。咁當然啦，問得香港人嘅話咧，咁啊大部分主要都係想揀翻香港嘅，因為頭先阿 Becky 都有講過啦，都想透過香港呢個咁好嘅基地，就去跨入去大陸啊嘛，係咪？好啦，咁啊，其餘咁啊大陸入邊3個城市，大家覺得都係比較中意喺嗰度創業嘅咧。咁第一位咧就係廣州。 咁啊接近20%嘅。咁可能廣州即係啲創業嘅資源比較豐富啦。咁啊第二位咧就係深圳。深圳係鄰近啲啦，同埋喺創科方面比較強啲啦。咁啊第三位咧就係珠海，珠海都不得不提嘅就係、即係而家喺嗰個即係創業研發嗰方面咧，都比較多一啲資源啊。咁啊所以咧即係都吸引到我哋香港嘅一啲青年創業家啦，都主要係想去呢3個城市嘅地方裏邊咧，就開拓佢一啲國內嘅業務咁樣嘅。咁好啦，咁啊去到第二條問題啦。咁啊你點解會即係選擇大灣區嘅即係城市去創業咧？咁樣咁啊第一位咧就講緊其實都想即係佢哋嘅產業係可以配合到當地嘅發展啊。咁啊第二位咧就係講緊如果當地咧政府咧有一啲有利佢哋嘅發展嘅政策咧，咁就更加好啦。咁樣第三位就係租金嘅優惠啦。咁樣咁其實都係好想揾一啲合適自己業務喺當地可以真係大展所長嘅。咁當然啦，有一啲優惠嘅租金更加好啦。咁啊第三條問題啦，就講緊我大灣區你創業有啲乜嘢嘅期望咧？咁樣咁第一位就希望啦，頭先阿 Becky 都有講啦，梗係想低啲嘅成本啦，係咪啊？即係香港即係租金都叫昂貴，咁大灣區其實都仲係即係租金比較優惠啲啊咁樣。咁第二位咧都係想話吸引多啲唔同嘅投資者，多啲機會，因為都知道國內有好多唔同嘅投資基金啊，好多 funder 啊咁樣諸如此類啦。咁啊第三樣嘢就係可以配合到中央政府嘅一啲政策啊或者支持啊咁樣。咁始終國內都係一個比較龐大啲嘅市場啦。如果可以配合到我哋國家嘅發展嘅話，咁其實成個政策上面嘅發展咧都係可以擴到好大嘅咁啦。咁啊第四條問題啦，就係講緊係你而家現時即係面對緊嘅創業嘅困難喺邊一度咧？咁啊第一位就係成本嘅高企。咁啊第二位咧就係我揾唔到資金啊，我唔知點樣可以揾到投資者咁啦。咁啊第三樣嘢就係冇一啲足夠嘅創業支援啊。咁呢個應該要糾正一下啦。咁啊我哋香港青年創業總商會啦。咁同埋即係 HABU 啦，都有好多唔同嘅創業嘅支援啦，係咪啊？呢個我諗佢哋認識不足啫，係咪啊，主席？
即係我哋要再做好啲咯，
再做好啲。OK， 好。咁啊，去到啦，新冠疫第5條啦，新冠疫情咧對你嘅業務有啲咩影響啦？咁其實咧大家都答有影響嘅，咁但係都係重拾咗一個信心，係希望可以重上軌道嘅。咁啊，正如即係我哋之前都睇過另外一個調查啦，就講緊係第二季我哋即係香港中小企領先指數咧，其實大家係對於嗰個前景觀望係非常之有信心嘅，因為以往咧大家對中小企即係營商指數嗰個分數好低嘅，永遠都係唔樂觀嘅。但係今季即係2021年第二季開始嘅時候咧，大家都對於個整體上面啊復甦啊或者自己嘅生意上面有信心提升嘅。咁啊第二位咧就係大家都覺得冇乜影響喎，所以你睇我哋青年創業家都幾強勁喎，唔知係咪適應力強啦，都冇乜。或點樣下跌過，去到第三位啦，得個8.6% 先至大家話其實會影響好大，咁同埋超過50% 嘅下跌咁樣，咁所以 OK 啊，就睇翻呢個數據都唔係話好差咁啦。咁啦，第二條問題就講緊啦，你預期咧政府啊有啲乜嘢可以幫助到青年創業家喺大灣區做進一步嘅發展咧？咁樣，咁第一位就希望有更加多嘅創業嘅資助啦。咁啊，第二樣嘢就希望提供多啲唔同大灣區創業嘅資訊同埋政策嘅一啲消息啊，咁樣。咁啊，第三啦，點樣可以聯繫到喺粵港澳大灣區嘅香港青年創業家？咁呢個亦都係我哋商會嘅強項啦，係咪啊？主席。咁所以咧，呢啲我哋都希望我哋可以幫手解決到一啲唔同嘅問題啦。咁好啦，最後兩條問題都係一啲統計性嘅問題嚟嘅。咁啊，大約係乜嘢年齡層嘅咧？接受我哋訪問。咁啊，主要都係30至35歲嘅年輕創業家嚟嘅。咁另外團隊方面啊，咁啊大部分都比較成熟啲嘅，就6至10人。咁啊，其餘嘅就係1至2人啦，咁樣。咁啊，主席，我將呢個發布就已經完畢啦，交翻俾你做一個總結。
時間關係，想請兩位咧坐去隔離張凳，因為原來媒體朋友睇唔到啲字，係啦。
呢個唔係時間關係，呢個位置問題。
我哋呢個呢邊啊，我爭少少，係啦。OK，
好。咁啊，咁啊影唔到阿 Sam 哥個靚仔樣啊，定係頭先？
我影到㗎啦，你靚仔最緊要。
好。咁啊，大家頭先即係聽完我哋一個發布嗰個嘅一個信息啦。咁其實點解我哋今次做呢個發布？頭先我講咗啦。咁亦都即係講多少少啦。我哋睇到其實大家對大灣區嗰個興趣呢，即係無論呢個調研又好，甚至乎做調研之前、調研之後呢，我哋睇到都係上升緊嘅嚇。咁啊，第一個點可以喺邊度睇到呢？就係我哋今次商會啦，同政府即係得到政府民政事務同青年事務發展委員會嗰個資金喺 Reventure 呢個 program 底下呢， 我哋嗰個接近750萬嘅創業資金嘅比賽呢，我哋係得到接近有250個申請隊伍去報名嘅。咁呢個數字呢，其實即係都超出我哋嘅預期嘅。咁啊反映咗係乜嘢呢？反映大家其實都創業個心呢係依然係旺盛，同埋都好想係喺大灣區呢創一番事業嘅。咁呢個其一啦。其二就係今日點解我哋揀喺呢個地方進行呢個中英兩地嘅交流嘅英文都有呢？就係第一，頭先阿 Becky 有講到啦，浸大其實睇到我哋好多創業隊伍呢係一個 mix 嘅組合嚟㗎，有內地嘅朋友啦，有我哋香港嘅朋友，亦都有外地嘅朋友。好似今日阿 Nathan 點解會喺度呢？其實就係佢自己本人都好想走進大灣區，係好多外國嘅朋友都想走進大灣區嘅。咁我諗呢個一個信息就話俾大家聽係咩呢？當全球嘅焦點所有人都擺喺大灣區嘅時候，我哋作為香港最近我哋祖國，亦都係大灣區嘅一份子嘅青年人，係咪更加應該要留意多啲呢？嗱，呢個調研呢睇到一個樣嘢嘅，就係頭先睇到有幾個首選嘅城市，香港以外啊，深圳、廣州、珠海。點解有呢3個城市啊？我哋自己嘅解讀就係、第一，呢3個城市呢，就大家比較熟悉嘅，廣州同深圳，我諗大家去得多比較經常啦，熟悉係一個好緊要嘅嘢。第二就係咩？交通上嘅便利啊，深圳行過去就係啦，廣州大家喺未有高鐵之前直通車係嘛？有高鐵之後都方便。珠海以前少去啲嘅，港珠澳大橋。哇！好多人都去珠海喎，有啲人踩單車啊，有啲人啊揸車過去啊，等等嗰啲。其實交通睇到好緊要嘅，因為我哋成日強調呢，你即係大灣區生活呢，其實最緊要乜嘢啊？點樣去支持到啲青年人去大灣區啊？解決衣食住行4方面嘅問題。我諗衣冇乜問題啦，大家都着嗰件衫嘅啫。食嘅話喺廣東嚟講，大家個口味相近嚇。住嘅，我相信你喺內地租層樓點都平過喺香港嘅。行啦。就係頭先我想帶出嘅一個點，就係交通上嘅便利。呢一點嗱，高鐵嘅開通咧係幫咗大家好多嘅。但係其實大家咧好多時都有疑問，喂，我點去惠州啊？我點去惠東啊？我點去呢個肇慶啊？等等嘅，因為呢啲大家唔熟悉。其實我哋個網絡喺度嘅，咁所以個資訊上咧大家要豐富。第二點係咩呢？第二點頭先調研裏邊講咗個重點嘅，就係好多青年人希望得到更多第一手嘅大灣區嘅資訊。點解我咁講呢？我想問在座有幾多朋友係聽過 GoGBA 呢個網站㗎？可唔可以舉手嚟睇下？好，都比我想象中多㗎啦。雖然都係少過1/5嚇。嗱，GoGBA 呢個網站呢，其實就係特區政府啊、文化局呢，佢哋喺6月嗰陣時 launch 㗎。其實佢裏邊有晒大灣區9+2城市嘅資訊嘅。嗱，頭先呢個少少嘅現場嘅調研呢，反映到其實大家唔係好認識呢個網站嘅 ，OK， 唔係好認識嘅。咁呢個第一重點，所以呢，我覺得就係咩呢？政府喺呢方面要加強呢個推廣，就係究竟大家有啲咩渠道去獲得呢啲資訊？因為你話睇內地嗰啲網站呢，我相信大家都未睇得明嘅嚇。第一，因為簡體字啦；第二，嗰個資訊性個搜集同我哋喺香港上網搜集未必係一樣。咁但係如果我哋連喺香港揾呢啲資訊都揾唔到呢，咁啊有點而那過嘅。坦白講，好啦，我就當大家係認識呢個網站。頭先舉手嘅朋友有冇上過去睇過呢？我唔知大家覺得有啲咩 comment 啦。我覺得上面嘅資訊呢係海量嘅，好多㗎。你入到去，假設我依家想去珠海創業啦，好嘛？咁啊撳到珠海個城市之後呢，你會睇下佢有咩產業匹配啊等等嗰啲。但係你撳入去呢，你係會見到更加海量嘅文字嘅，佢會帶你走進一個內地嘅網站，有大量政府嘅公文、無限嘅條文。其實我諗唔係一個律師呢，都好難睇得明嘅。咁如果你作為一個可能係18到30歲、社會經驗不多、睇嘅字亦都唔多嘅年青人呢，其實唔係咁容易消化嘅。咁我期望就係政府部門喺呢方面會優化。既然你要吸引年青人，可不可以你係將你原本連結落去個網站嗰啲資訊，你消化咗先，跟住幻化成一啲簡短嘅文字，甚至乎年青人最中意睇嘅懶人包或者係短片。我覺得呢啲係會更加落到地， 會幫到年青人。如果唔係你即係將所有資訊整合呢，冇意思嘅。大家睇完就係見到1萬字，我諗正常人都會嚇怕嘅嚇。1萬字，就算你唔係1萬字，你同我 trim 到得翻1000字嚇，即係已經我哋要切入翻年青人嘅心態，懶人包、短片等等，令到佢哋一撳入去就知道，哦，原來澳門呢個城市就主要扶持旅遊產業嘅，原來深圳就係主要扶持呢個科技同埋等等嘅唔同嘅產業嘅，一目了然嚇。呢個都好緊要嘅嚇。咁啊，第3點啦，就係好多年青人其實就話點解想去大灣區創業啊？成本低，成本低。咁但係呢一點我想提一提，成本係咪真係咁低呢？嚇，其實內地同香港嗰個成本個差距呢，冇我哋以往即係我哋父輩嗰一輩呢個差距咁遠㗎啦。其實係越嚟越收窄嘅。同埋9+2城市呢，其實講佢嘅成本，講佢嘅人工呢，其實個差異性都可以好大嘅。所以呢一點呢，如果年青人呢走進大灣區嘅時候呢，係一定要留意嘅。我有個方程式嘅，以前有個朋友喺內地營商。如果你覺得你喺內地支付緊一個係1000蚊人工俾一個同事嘅話呢，實質計埋佢嘅工作效益啊、5險1金等等呢，其實你俾緊1600蚊嘅，即係一個1.6倍嘅概念嘅。咁我覺得呢個概念大家都可以拿捏下，就唔好俾想象中喂所有嘢都低，所有嘢都低。並不是所有嘢都低嘅，你中間好多要用其他成本去換翻嚟嘅。嗱，我知道好多記者朋友都趕時間嘅，我諗我呢度嘅少少嘅總結同 insight 就咁多先，咁睇下大家有冇咩提問，好嘛？唔該。
或者呢個時候，我哋睇下我哋主席有冇啲 suggestion。即係建議就住翻我哋嘅報告，或者喺我哋會嘅。絕
對有，不過技窮啦。頭先我講晒㗎，基本上都係啊。有冇小範圍想問一問呢？
記者朋友有冇提問 ？OK。
你好，你啱啱講咗係訪問咗163間
163
係啦，我想知有幾多間係想去大灣區度發展，同埋嗰幾間嘅公司係啲咩行業嚟㗎？
咁 detail 好似冇問到。
有163間呢都會係想去大灣區發展嘅，因為佢哋係有揀到啲城市嘅，係啦。咁啊，至於佢哋嘅行業，超
過一半啊。
我咪全部呢個全部大灣區城市嚟㗎嘛，係啊，所以佢哋全部都係想入去大灣區嘅，係啊。基本上可以答你，如果唔諗住去大灣區係唔會填呢個文件嘅，可以係咁講，係啊。咁啊，第二，佢哋嘅產業啊，產業其實就睇下先啦。產業呢，其實我哋就冇特別俾佢選項嘅今次，因為其實我哋想知道佢哋嘅諗法多啲。其實今次。
其實呢，頭先講嗰3個大家好想去嘅地方啦，咁只不過係即係大家所中意嘅地方啫。但係其實其他地方都有揀嘅，即係你講到譬如係即係肇慶啊、佛山啊嗰啲都有揀。其實學阿主席話齋，如果佢唔想去嘅話，基本上都唔會填呢份問卷嘅。咁即係話163整體上面呢，咁基本上163都係大家好想去大灣區創業嘅咁樣咯。
有冇其他記者朋友有提問？如果冇呢，我哋可能先做咗我哋今日喺 online section 嘅 round up 先，咁之後就會有圍訪嘅時間。Yeah, would like to do the round up for this online section together. Just let me to welcome back our Chamber's Vice Chairman, Jerry Chen, Vincent and Rudy, and also me and Becky, back to the stage with Sam and Calvin. Yeah.
咁多位朋友，咁啊做個再少少嘅總結啦。咁我哋呢個計劃呢，其實就得到接近250個參賽者嘅申請。咁好多其實參賽者嘅朋友都問：喂，你揀12隊啫喎，得個12隊有資金咯，咁我哋其他人點算呢？其實呢，呢個計劃呢，其實重點呢，資金係其一，第二就係我哋透過呢個計劃帶俾大家嘅網絡、人脈、知識，同埋同內地呢創業基地嘅對接嘅，呢個先係最無價嘅一部分嘅。坦白講，因為呢，其實60萬嘅創業資金話多唔多，話少唔少，咁但係60萬以外嘅，你要知道嘅就係你要得到內地唔同單位嘅對接呢，先係最緊要嘅。我舉個比喻。我有個朋友曾經就係做呢個環保嘅事業嘅，佢想喺四川揾某一種竹葉，揾極都揾唔到。佢點樣揾呢？寫信唔同嘅政府部門啦，電郵啦，打電話去唔同嘅工商部。有一日佢撞到我哋，知道我哋香港青年創業中商會呢，同四川政府簽咗個 MOU 戰略協議嘅。佢話：咦，你同四川有聯繫㗎？我話：我哋都認識啦。咁樣我就介紹咗一個人俾佢，係透過微信介紹嘅啫。我將個微信加完俾佢之後，2日佢已經揾到個竹葉啦。而嗰種竹葉佢揾咗2年都揾唔到嘅。呢個咁少嘅例子同大家講咩呢？其實喺內地呢，官方途徑你係需要有嘅，但係一啲非官方途徑嘅接觸，你哋更加需要有。但係貿然一個人隻身上到去呢，你唔會咁容易獲得呢個途徑嘅。你可以透過唔同嘅商會，即係當然包括本會啦，去接觸嘅。因為我哋呢喺呢個計劃60萬資金以外呢，我哋會安排唔同嘅實地考察。亦都有唔同嘅對接，就算依家我哋疫情底下呢，我哋好多時都會透過線上嘅一啲對接，務求令到大家同內地唔同嘅朋友，包括我哋已經對接咗嘅創業基地單位嘅對接人，去做一個聯繫嘅。因為嗱，識人好過識字嘅，咁當然前提你都要識咗字先啦嚇。咁但係呢，你識咗個人呢，你揾好多方法呢，你唔使再海量咁上去網上喺度搜尋，去百度啊，去 Google 等等噶啦，一個微信，一個電話已經搞掂噶啦。嗱，我再舉多個例子，返大陸，大家覺得最難係乜嘢啊？開公司、開戶口。如果你透過我哋嘅計劃，透過我哋商會同內地我哋唔同嘅創業基地對接嘅話呢，我哋係有專人免費幫大家跟進開公司、開戶口等等嘅服務，係唔收費嘅。嗱，政府收費係自己俾啦，當然就咁，但係有人免費幫你哋跟進，仲要我哋係有個香港人講廣東話幫你哋跟進。咁我諗呢個服務呢係非常之好嘅，因為你10年前呢，我諗你哋開公司呢，開1年都開唔到，結果係創業，唔使創業，唔係失敗，係冇開始過嘅嚇。咁但係依家就唔同咗啦。咁所以呢啲少少嘢都透過我哋計劃會有啦。咁同埋我哋有唔同嘅創業學啦，包括可能財務啊、法律啊、市務啊、人事等等呢，之後都會安排俾大家嘅。咁務求呢，大家就係令到大家喺大灣區創業呢係舒服嘅。做到頭先我講，喂，衣食住行覺得好似身在香港，但係創業在內地，享受到內地嗰個成本低、人口紅利高咁嘅環境底下嘅嘢嚟嘅。咁所以呢，我希望各位今次有參加呢個計劃嘅朋友，甚至乎冇參加呢個計劃嘅朋友，只要你係18到40歲嘅，你都多啲留意呢個計劃，留意我哋會嘅資訊。我哋會有大量關於大灣區同埋創業方面嘅資訊提供俾大家嘅。多謝大家。
So I'll try to wrap it up in English. So thank you so much, Nathan, and thank you so much to our chairman, Kelvin, just now, for the release of result for our research. And, again, shall we give a round of applause to Nathan again?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nathan. I think, myself, as well as all the audience today, online and offline, have really learned a lot about, from you as well as from your courses. So may I, just do some advertisement again here today. If you guys haven't logged in to the website and access to the course, you still have until end of September to do that. So, I would encourage you guys to all do that. So, depending, whether we have any future activities, maybe we'll invite Nathan back again, for more sharing in the future. So thank you again today. Thank you so much, Nathan. We'll keep in touch.
Okay, thank you.
So 首先我哋真係多謝晒 Nathan 嘅參與同埋佢嘅 course 咧係好多唔同嘅資訊嘅。如果大家咧喺9月30號前咧都仲有時間咧，記得去 log in 同埋去上個 course 啦。咁同時間咧，其實咧我哋呢個計劃咧其實已經 shortlist 咗團隊咧喺嚟緊呢個星期六咧係會做第一輪嘅評審嘅。咁希望個參加者喺線上或者喺線下都有一啲參加者喺度嘅，大家記得去留意同埋去預備好你哋嘅 PPT， 喺8月20號嘅時候咧交到去我哋本會秘書處度啦。咁我哋今日嘅活動就去到呢度。This is our end of our event today. Thank you Nathan, thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you 晒 Becky。